Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we will try to answer a simple question. What happens when you do something that you don't like to do? Suppose you're on a diet and trying to lose weight, but you decided to eat a donut for breakfast. What exactly is happening here? What are you thinking? If you find yourself saying, a donut isn't really a lot of calories, I can just skip lunch to compensate for it, then aha, you are experiencing cognitive dissonance. The cognitive dissonance theory proposed by Festinger in 1957 states that people want to be consistent in their cognitions. But when two or more of our cognitions are inconsistent, we start to experience cognitive dissonance, especially when the inconsistencies involve positive and important image of ourselves, actions which are perceived as freely chosen, uncomfortable physiological arousal, and we attribute the arousal to inconsistency. So let's go back to the dieting example I mentioned earlier and see how cognitive dissonance theory applies. First, you will eat something when it is healthy and low in fat, so that is the positive self-image. But you choose to eat a donut without being coerced into doing so that's a free action that you are choosing to do. You feel uncomfortable eating something that's known to be unhealthy. And so there is an inconsistency in your arousal and cognition when you're eating something unhealthy while trying to lose weight. And so to resolve this inconsistency, you attribute your behavior to the fact that you think donut has low level of calories. So you are experiencing cognitive dissonance. There were several studies done to explore cognitive dissonance. Let me just give you two more examples to illustrate the concept. In Festinger and Kazmir study in 1959, participants were given some extremely boring task. There were three conditions to the study. In the control group, the participants were instructed not to lie. In the second group, participants were tasked to lie to another participant that the task they did were very interesting and they were paid $1 for it. In the third condition, participants were tasked to lie and they were paid $20 for it. The participants were later tasked to report their attitudes towards the task they did at the very beginning. It was found that participants in the $1 condition reported enjoying the experiment more than the participants in the two other conditions. Why is this so? In the $1 group, the participants were experiencing cognitive dissonance. First, it must be assumed that the participants have a positive view of themselves, that they are honest people. Second, they have the choice to lie or not to lie. When given the instructions, they can walk away from the experiment without getting the $1, but they chose to lie. This creates uncomfortable arousal, as they now feel like a dishonest person, which is inconsistent with the positive image they have of themselves. To resolve this inconsistency, the only way to justify why they lied was to change their attitudes and believe that they really enjoyed the boring task and the task was really quite enjoyable. In the $20 group, participants did not experience cognitive dissonance as they could justify their behaviors with another factor, such as I lied because I am paid $20 for it. It is quite a sum of money. Hence, there was no inconsistency and no need for adjustment of attitude. Another study that I found interesting was Bram's fabulous price study in 1956. In this study, participants were shown a list of appliances and told to rank them according to how much they wanted and give it a rating out of 10 for each of the appliances. Participants were then given the option to take home one of the prize with them, but were given the choice to choose between two similarly attractive appliances based on the participants' indicated preference. Participants were then tasked to rate the appliances again 20 minutes later. It was found that participants now rated the appliance they chose more favorably than the one they did not pick. In this scenario, the participant experienced cognitive dissonance between two similarly attractive options. So if the participant picked a toaster, the participant might be thinking, damn, I picked something with some flaws. And the blender seems useful, I could use it to make juice. So there was inconsistency in the attitude towards the objects and behaviors. The only way to resolve the inconsistency was then to rate the chosen appliance as something that we like more and give it a higher rating. But cognitive dissonance isn't always all that bad. If you're like me, who is lazy to move and hardly ever have the motivation to exercise, and if you force yourself to run every day, then you might eventually end up thinking that you like to run and will continue to run more for an active lifestyle. That doesn't sound too bad. More importantly, by recognizing your own cognitive dissonance, you will be able to identify what values and morals matter to you the most, and you can gain a greater self-awareness. Thank you for watching my video, and don't forget to subscribe if you wish to know more about psychology and its application in everyday lives.